Hi everyone, Margaret Hodge, Labour's Margaret Hodge, who launched a blistering attack a couple of weeks ago on Jeremy Corbyn, calling him an effing anti-Semite to his face by the sounds of it, did an interview with Sky yesterday. Just want to show you a bit of it.
On the day that I heard that they were going to discipline me and possibly suspend me, it felt almost like I kept thinking, what did it feel like to be a Jew in Germany in the 30s? Because it felt almost as if they were coming for me. And it's rather difficult to define, but there's that fear. And it reminded me of what my dad used to say. He always said to me as a child, "You've got to keep a packed suitcase at the door, Margaret, in case you ever have to leave in a hurry." And when I heard about the disciplinary, my emotional response resonated with that feeling of fear that clearly was at the heart of what my father felt when he came to Britain.
How would you characterise your relationship with him now, with Jeremy Corbyn?
It's a very fine line between being pro-Palestinian, the Palestinian cause, which he's always believed in, and being anti-Semitic. And I think he's gone the wrong side of that line.
Okay, that's enough. I'm not going to show any of that. It was just a load of softball questions by that Sky News journalist. Just a couple of things there, based on that minute and 3 seconds of that interview. Whenever there's any criticism of Israel for what they're doing against Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza, it never takes long before this is like 1930s Nazi Germany. Never takes long before that defence is used. Now, it's nothing like 1930s Nazi Germany. Absolutely nothing at all. Why? Because we're not criticising Israel because it's Jewish. We're criticising Israel because it's committing human rights violations against an oppressed minority. Let's always remember this. This is a conflict between two sides. On one hand, you've got an occupying force that is nuclear armed, and on the other, you've got the occupied who have flaming kites. Bringing up Nazi Germany and invoking Nazi Germany, it invokes feelings in people's minds. Oh, this is terrible. They do every single time. It never takes long before that's used as the excuse. This is nothing to do with Judaism. This is nothing to do with people disliking Jewish people. This is everything to do with standing up for an occupied minority who are being viciously murdered in cold blood by an occupying force which is an apartheid state. And that brings me to the next point. That is nowhere near anti-Semitism. It's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even the same sport. But that's the only defence they've got against their actions. It's the only defence they've got to deflect. Now, something that I've been thinking about quite a while now is, why is this? Because this was remember the latest smear against Jeremy Corbyn with this wreath laying. That's something that actually came up 10 days before the election last year. So they're rehashing old smears now. Why are they doing this? Why are they ramping up the tension in the press? And why is people like Margaret Hodge doing this? And it does make me think, has it got something to do with the fact that Brexit negotiations are about to come to crunch time? And what's happening in the next probably 6 weeks with the negotiations with the EU, of which most people, including myself, think the EU are just going to say no. And that makes a no deal a very real possibility. It does make you wonder, are they fearful that May is going to lose her majority? Are they fearful that there's going to be a snap election and Jeremy Corbyn will become the Prime Minister? And why are they fearful? Why are they so scared of Jeremy Corbyn? Why is Israel so scared of Jeremy Corbyn being Prime Minister? Well, obviously, he's in the past been a big proponent of the BDS movement, as am I, as are many other people who think that this is the only way you can get an apartheid state to change its ways. It was a big factor in South Africa changing its ways, and I think it would be with Israel as well. But more importantly, Jeremy Corbyn's policies are not exactly friendly to the elite and the richest people in the country and the richest businesses in the country. He's actually for the people rather than, for everybody, not just the few, as he says, for the many, not the few. Margaret Hodge, well, she's one of the few. And as you can see there, Margaret Hodge's family company pays just 0.01% tax on £2.1 billion of business generated in the UK. How is that fair? How is that fair that a business can generate £2.1 billion and pay just 0.01% tax, yet a hairdresser's up the road turning over £250,000 a year is paying, what, 22%? How is that fair? It's not. And this is something that Jeremy Corbyn has said he wants to address. Now, whether he can address that, whether he would have the political power, whether there'd be enough backing for him to do that, we'd have to wait and see. But I truly believe that somebody should try. And the fact that Margaret Hodge, after that horrific attack on Corbyn, hasn't immediately been suspended is one of the reasons why I am not a Labour supporter. They won't suspend Hodge, will they? Why not? Why won't they suspend Hodge for this? It's obvious what she's doing. They'll suspend George Galloway, though, for being right about the Iraq War. That's why I'm not a Labour supporter. Now, don't get me wrong. Unless something absolutely amazing happens, I will be voting for Jeremy Corbyn in the next election. I think he's a decent man, and I think it's about time we had a decent person as the head of our country. I've never had it in my lifetime. Never. Not a single prime minister I can look at and think, yeah, they're a thoroughly decent person. I can't. Jeremy Corbyn, I can. I think it's about time we had somebody decent as a prime minister. But that's why I'm not a Labour supporter, because they don't suspend people like Hodge. Now, this may obviously change with deselection, with the vote on deselection coming up. This may obviously change, and maybe that's another reason why these anti-Semitic smears are increasing. But one thing's for sure, if things do change, and if they do change the rules in the Labour Party, and if Jeremy Corbyn does become Prime Minister, I suggest Margaret Hodge really does, as she said in that video, I suggest she really does have a suitcase at the door, because I don't think she'll be lasting long. People like her need to get out. They really do. They need to get out. They're not a supporter of Labour policies. They're right-wingers in a red suit, and that's all it is. If you enjoyed this video, please click the bell down there and subscribe so you get a notification of next time I drop a video. Also, I can't do this without your help, so if you can afford it and you enjoy my videos, please support the channel by subscribing to my Patreon. Link is down there. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and it really does help. If you can't afford it, that's fine. Please share my work and talk to other people about the issues that I bring up. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.